Hello, I'm Bernard Norcott-Mahany. I work at the Bluford branch of the Kansas City Public Library. April is National Poetry Month. For April of 2025, I am reading selections from the River Anthology by Edgar Lee Masters. The premise of the book is, imagine yourself in the town of Spoon River, which is loosely modeled on the town of Lewistown, Illinois, which overlooked the Spoon River, and that you were on the hill, which is where the cemetery is, and that you're wandering through the cemetery and you're looking at gravestones, and that on some as you stop and look at a gravestone, you see the name, and then that person tells you something, that their spirit tells you something about themselves. That's sort of the setup. And so we learn something about the town of Spoon River by its inhabitants who have died. So today we're going to be looking at Frank Drummer and a couple of other poems. So Frank Drummer. Out of a cell into this darkened space, the end at 25. My tongue could not speak what stirred within me, and the village thought me a fool. Yet at the start there was a clear vision, a high and urgent purpose in my soul which drove me on, trying to memorize the Encyclopedia Britannica. So there doesn't seem to be a lot there with regard to Frank Drummer. He seems to be someone who was trying to read through the Encyclopedia Britannica and died at 25. Hare Drummer. Do the boys and girls still go to Siever's for cider after school in late September, or gather hazelnuts among the thickets on Aaron Hatfield's farm when the frosts begin? For many times with the laughing girls and boys played I along the road and over the hills when the sun was low and the air was cool, stopping to club the walnut tree standing leafless against a flaming west. Now the smell of the autumn smoke and the drooping acorns and the echoes about the vales bring dreams of life. They hover over me, they question me. Where are those laughing comrades? How many are with me? How many in the old orchards along the way to Siever's, and in the woods that overlook the quiet water? So again, we don't know much about this person. The fact that the last name is Drummer seems to indicate a connection with Frank Drummer. This person seems to miss hanging around with friends, going to the drugstore to get cider, or the general store to get cider in the fall. The setting seems to be fall because she's the figure, which I take to be female, but I can't pin anything that indicates for sure, smells the burning leaves. Conrad, Siever. Not in that wasted garden where bodies are drawn into grass that feeds no flocks, and into evergreen that bear no fruit. There where along the shaded walks vain sighs are heard, and vainer dreams are dreamed, of close communion with departed souls. But here, under the apple tree, I loved and watched and pruned with gnarled hands in the long, long years. Here, under the roots of this northern spy, to move in the chemic change and circle of life, into the soil and into the flesh of the tree, and into the living epitaphs of redder apples. So this is the Siever whose store or house or whatever would make cider, right? So he's proud of this apple tree that he wants to be buried under. Given the fact that this is supposed to take place on the hill, which is the cemetery, I'm guessing that he didn't get his wish, right? His wish was to be so buried, but that in fact he's there near someone who remembers going to his place for cider in the fall. sort of dream not realized is what I'm guessing we get from this. So those were Frank drummer, Hare drummer, and Conrad Siever.